Hello, all you Dallas fans. Well, it's that time again, and I will break this one down for you. As well, I hate to say it, but the Dallas Cowboys get embarrassed in Cowboys Stadium. Woo! I gotta say, this was a hard one for me to rewatch. Almost, I almost didn't rewatch it on ESPN. To be completely honest with you, it was that embarrassing of a showing by the Dallas Cowboys. 34-18 was the final. Wow. We'll find out what happens next, how it happened, and I guess we'll just have to look forward to the Ravens in 2 weeks because this one's going to sting. I'll tell you why it's going to sting here today. Boomer Sooner 1982 as the Bears, Chicago Bears, embarrass the Dallas Cowboys. All right, well, here it is. This is the Bears embarrass the Cowboys in Cowboys Stadium. And it really didn't get ugly in the first quarter. Everything was clean. Everything was neutralized. Everything was 0-0. Into the second quarter, we go. We're about halfway through even. It's still pretty even with about 7 minutes left. Then, a quarter of the way through, about 4:15 left, finally, Robbie Gould starts things off for the Bears. As with 4:15 left, he slips through a 43-yard field goal to make it 3-0 Chicago. A little bit later, on the next drive, in fact, Tony Romo turns into Romo again and slips an interception pass to Charles Tillman, the defensive back for the Bears. 25 yards, touchdown Chicago, and it is 10-0, and Cowboy fans can't believe it. That happened with 2:38 left in the half. The Cowboys, though, did not give up on their horses. They do it again with that 2-minute offense. Tony Romo slips a pass to Miles Austin. Touchdown, Cowboys! With 14 seconds left in the second quarter, it's now 10-7 Bears, but the Cowboys are on the scoreboard, and we are cleared. Because obviously with 14 seconds, the Bears probably aren't going to do a whole lot more left. So back to the third quarter. That's when Jay Cutler gets involved with the torching of the Cowboy defense. As Jay Cutler hits Devin Hester, 34 yards, touchdown Chicago, leaving 10:24 left on the clock, 17-7 Chicago. Romo shows his head again. Tony Romo was picked off by Lance Briggs for 74 yards with 6:11 left in the third quarter, making it 24-7. You guessed it, Chicago. Cowboys weren't done scoring, and we're not to be unscoreless in this quarter either, though, because with 2:11 left, former Oklahoma State Cowboy who traded in his orange shoes for the silver shoes of the Dallas Cowboys, Dan Bailey, finds a 39-yard field goal through the pipe with 2:11 left. It's 24-10 Chicago. But in the fourth, it's the Robbie Gould story again. The man with the golden shoe. Not the silver shoe, but the golden shoe. Robbie Gould. 21-yard field goal with 11:24 left there in the fourth quarter, making it 27-10. Chicago. Then it was Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall heading it up. 31-yard touchdown respectively. 34-10 Bears are in charge of this one. And the final score of the night, it's a garbage score, but hey, it's a score anyway. It goes to the Star of Dallas. It goes to the Stars of Dallas, the Dallas Stars. You get it? No offense to the hockey team. Kyle Orton. Yes, that Kyle Orton. Tony Romo, Romo was sat down for Kyle Orton, who finds Jason Witten for a 5-yard touchdown. And Dez Bryant caught a 2-yard two-point after attempt conversion, making it 34-18. And of course, that would be your final score as the Bears embarrass the Cowboys 34-18 final score. Stats besides the 5 interceptions, pretty bad for Tony? Not really. The yards were all about Romo. 307 yards, a touchdown, and the 5 picks. Not a great interception to touchdown ratio night, but as far as moving the football down the field, as you can see, Tony did a pretty good job there. Jay Cutler, 275 yards, two TDs, 0 picks. Running the ball, the Dallas Cowboys, my Cowboys went with DeMarco Murray from the Sooners again. He had 11 attempts for only 24 yards. Not going to get it done. Even in the NFL, where it is a pass-oriented league, only 24 yards rushing, not going to get it done, DeMarco. While Matt Forte had 13 attempts, 2 more attempts than did DeMarco, and 52 yards. Count them up, all 52 went to Matt Forte. The receivers that stepped up huge for each team, of course, the Dallas Cowboys. Jason Witten, what's new? 13 catches, 112 yards, and a touchdown. I don't think this guy's hurt anymore, guys. He's playing pretty well right now at this level. As far as playing well for Chicago, it was Brandon Marshall. He had 7 catches, 138 yards, and the 1 touchdown. Defensively, you have to look at Sean Lee, who had 14 tackles. And as far as the defense for the Bears, DJ Moore had 10 tackles and the 1 interception off of Tony Romo. Punting-wise, the new star for the Cowboys. This guy was just signed this week. Brian Moorman, 3 attempts, 37 yards as an average. 2 of them were inside the 20-yard line, and a long of 41 yards for his punt. Adam Podlesh for Chicago had 3 punts, an average of 40 yards an average, neutralizing Brian Moore with 2 punts inside the 20-yard line. And the long for Adam Podlesh, 52 yards for punt. 52 yards. It's a pretty good punt. The kickers for the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears look pretty much like this. Former Oklahoma State Cowboy and current Dallas Cowboy, Dan Bailey. He's about the only bright spot for the Cowboys because all he had to do was kick field goals. And he was 1 for 1 on those field goals. A 39-yard on the field goal. Robbie Gould, he was the man of the hour kicking for Chicago. He was 2 for 2, a long of 43 yards, and an extra one of 21 to make him 2 of 2. The offensive and defensive plays of the week. Offensively, you got to give the ball. You got to give the offensive play of the week to Tony Romo and Miles Austin, don't you? They cut this lead in half, 10-7, to head into halftime, only down 3. And that was huge. The defensive play of the week comes right here. Jay Cutler is sacked by DeMarcus Ware. Ware causes a fumble. Victor Butler picks up the fumble at the 27-yard line. First down, Cowboys with 6:25 left in the game. That's the play of the game defensively because if Dallas could have capitalized there, it would have been 17-14, 17-10 at worst. But then we all know what happened the next play. Romo shows up and passes the ball, flips the ball to Lance Briggs. So, not a great night for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, before I leave, here I have to say, and I have to apologize. Well, first of all, I'll say when the next game is going to be for Dallas. It's going to be not this Sunday coming up in a couple days, but the next Sunday. They'll play the Baltimore Ravens at noon on Fox. Be ready for that one. It'll be 2 pretty good defenses going after each other. But I have to say that I'm sorry that I didn't get this YouTube cast up a little earlier. I was actually in Oklahoma City where I live supporting my JR. Of course, with Dallas being the theme song to here, you would think that JR would mean the Dallas JR. It doesn't. It means OU's JR. Jim Ross had WWE Raw Night, and they had JR Appreciation Night at the Ford Center, and I was there. So I could not be at the. I could not watch the game, meaning that's why it probably took me. That is why it took me so long to get the post game in. I'm sorry it took me so long. I can promise you it will not take me this long next time. But as far as this time's concerned, one final time as the Chicago Bears embarrass the Cowboys 34-18. The next game out, like I said, will be against the Baltimore Ravens, noon on Fox. You don't want to miss it. Tony's and those guys are going to want to show up and play a little bit better. I hope that Tony does. We don't need any more Romos. We saw what that does tonight already with 2 turnovers. I mean, you take 2 turnovers off the board, that's 14 points. I know you can't do that, but that's 20-18. And Dallas Cowboys have a chance to win that ball game. You cannot have, and that's with 3 interceptions by Tony Romo, meaning that Tony Romo can do this, but he just cannot turn it over as many times as he did for points. If he doesn't give up as many points and just does the turnovers, the Cowboys have a chance in this ball game. But as it stands, we're embarrassed. And I'll see you guys next week for when we play Baltimore. Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, go Cowboys. You got to love them. Dallas Cowboy Nation, we will rise again. I promise. Everyone have a great week. Everybody have a great next week. See you guys then. And Cowboy up.